Welcome to U.S. Law Shield News Update in Houston, Texas. I'm Sam Malone. Joining me today, David Katz, program attorney, U.S. Law Shield. David, welcome to the newscast.
Thank you for having me, Sam.
Interesting story that everybody is talking about is a mom in Miami Gardens, Florida. There's a guy banging on the door. It looks like he's up to no good. She's trying to protect her 10-year-old daughter and 3-year-old son, and she pulls out a shotgun, as you can see, and brings it outside the door of the home to protect her property, protect the life of her family, protect her life. No doubt he's trying to break in. Let me ask you, what if this mom is in fear of her life and fires the shotgun through the door? She's inside, the bad guy's outside, boom, she fires off a shot. Talk about the legal ramifications.
Florida law would protect her even if she shot when he was just trying to enter the home. There is no rule in Florida that the person actually has to cross your threshold. So our law says if somebody is attempting to break into your house, you can use deadly force to prevent that. Each state has their own castle doctrine, which is what this would fall under. Florida's is very protective.
Let's say in Florida where you are, she fires a shot through the door, but you can see it's very close to a highway or busy thoroughfare street. What if she's inside, she fires through the door, and one of those, pellets from the shotgun blast, whatever she's firing, hits an innocent bystander?
So there is some level of protection. If what she did was reasonable in her use of force against the invader, and the bullet hits somebody else, she would have some protection because the intent was to hit the person invading. But if her act was negligent, she could have some legal problems. So in the case that you're talking about where the man is kicking through her door, it looks like she would be fine. But let's say there was a school bus, between her and the person had pulled the gun and yells, "Hey, I'm going to shoot you." And she pulls a gun and shoots through a crowd of school children, and one of the children is hit. She's going to have some problems because her act was grossly negligent.
Got it. David Katz, program attorney, U.S. Law Shield. And here's the deal. We see her and we hail her as a hero. She protected her life, the life of her kids. But what if she wasn't in legal possession? Does that change the storyline?
Florida law will protect her as long as she's not involved in a crime. I guess an argument could be made if she was using that gun illegally. Well, for instance, if she was a convicted felon and in possession of a firearm, the law would require her to, at the very least, maybe try and retreat first, although in her own home that might not apply. But could she be prosecuted for the crime of being, for instance, a felon in possession of that firearm? She could be. The question becomes, is it worth protecting her life and her family's and taking that risk?
Right. Or what if it's not her gun, she's staying at her friend's house, and she takes her friend's shotgun? Is there any legal downside to using somebody else's gun while you're in their home to protect your life and the life of others?
Not in Florida. It wouldn't matter who owned the gun as long as she could lawfully possess it.
Outstanding. And real quick, before we wrap it up, David Katz, program attorney, U.S. Law Shield. Walk through the Castle Doctrine with us that you mentioned earlier.
In Florida, the Castle Doctrine has been expanded to include your home. Really, it's called dwellings, residences, or vehicles. Okay, a dwelling is any building with a roof designed to be slept in at night. A residence is really the place you are sleeping in that night. So if somebody were to come over my house to spend the night as an invited guest, my house would become their residence for the night. The next day when they went home, my house is a dwelling or a residence. You're equally covered, and your own vehicle in Florida also is included. And so if somebody is threatening you and you reasonably believe that deadly force is necessary, you don't need to retreat before you respond.
Interesting. I didn't hear the word business or store in the description of the Castle Doctrine there.
So Florida does not expand our Castle Doctrine to a business or a store, but we do have a stand your ground law. And in Florida, as long as you are legally present, anywhere you're allowed to be, you don't need to retreat if you're threatened with force or deadly force.
Outstanding. Great insight. David Katz in Florida, he's a program attorney, part of U.S. Law Shield, joining us via Skype. I appreciate you taking time to be on our program today.
Thanks for having me.
You got it. Need more information? Go to uslawshield.com. uslawshield.com.